What's up, AKAPADers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're presenting the one, the only, the great, the legend, Jim Lee, J. Scott Campbell, the Anti-Gravity Room, and cameras in Wildstorm Productions with fashion design overlap. Okay, that's a lot of things, but this is something to me that's important because I feel like in modern day comics, this is overlooked and this isn't really quite executed. Let's have a look. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight before we get into the segment, so let's go. AKAPADers, what is happening? Peter A. DeLuca here, AKAPAD69, and say it with me, known throughout Philadelphia, PA, Europe, and the vast multiverse as your eclectic one, and in some circles, the pop culture pope. Guys, we do a lot of stuff on this channel, and one of those things is every Sunday, I try and present something to you, because today really is the day of rest, and that's why, we stay up all night, catching up on all kinds of work, because we try and give ourselves a break on Sunday. So, here we go. We have the Anti-Gravity Room, and so many of you are not familiar with what Anti-Gravity Room was. Let me just, give you guys a situation to how, or the scenario of how I got introduced to the Anti-Gravity Room. It would be a Saturday. You would wake up, start to do things in New Jersey, get your drawing tablet, start watching cartoons, cereal, maybe not. But, like the sun would start creeping up, things would get warmer, and the day would start to, elongate. The day would just start to get pissed away. So after all of these cartoons, and as you're filling up your drawing tablet or sketchbook, because this is how this geek spent his Saturdays, you would go to your public access station, and sometimes you would get additional cartoons or reruns that were not national. So you kind of will have the national broadcast, and you have local, and then you will have almost like local. And Anti-Gravity Room and even things like ECW Wrestling were immediately local on my affiliate channels. So you would tune in the Anti-Gravity Room, and you get a little bit of MTV flair, a little bit of that MTV generation, and they would discuss, go over, just bring new comic books and new ideas to you. And for the time, it was perfect, because you're like, this is exactly what everything comic books needs. In a larger way, comic books still needs what the Anti-Gravity Room provided. And what is that exactly? Well, everything's not aggregated and everything is not trusted. Just when it comes to journalism. Journalism for comic books is strictly divided, and there's no aggregation. So even if you're following some of these online groups, you don't know which is which and who's affiliated with what. And there's no central presentation of what the industry is going through, and this is why we have so many disputes and arguments. The Anti-Gravity Room aggregated the major publishers. They did high focus on Image. They did stuff with Rob Liefeld, even Malibu, and throughout the weeks we're going to be presenting more and more of the Anti-Gravity Room. But this is a segment where they go to Wildstorm Productions and they overlap fashion design and what is happening in comic books. And I don't feel like there's a lot of pop culture or a sign of the time being injected into modern books. I feel like the signs of the time of what we see of today injected into modern books is nothing but forcefully divisive for particular reasons. Mostly for people trying to make a point, not really trying to entertain. I absolutely love this segment. I know I featured it before on Wildstorm Wednesday because I love Waban Kirby, where he says, if it's out there, I am taking it. And I just feel like as a creator, we should all follow Kirby's advice in this video. If it's out there, you should take it. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who says what. If you can make it your own, make it your own. But I just rewatching this. I just love this attempt. They're just trying to add more relevance to comic books, and I hate to say it. People like to say, the Marvel movies add relevance and it gets people talking about comics. It doesn't. No. Great comic books add relevance to comic books. And I really do feel like we're in a little bit of a drought where there's just creators out there that we trust, that we want to hear from. Hopefully I'm one of those ones for you guys. And this is why I always ask for subscriptions, comments, thumbs up, because we do have to fight that algorithm. We're going to defeat YouTube and Google and ABC and all those evil empires one subscriber at a time. So if you're out there and you're checking this, and before we get into the segment, subscribe, support, leave a comment. Highly appreciated. With all of that said, guys, I present to you the anti-gravity room.
So what if they draw people with unrealistic proportions? So what if they create an image of a woman that no human female could possibly achieve? They're snappy dressers, and that's all that matters.
How do I look? Just kidding. I traveled from Los Angeles to La Jolla to talk to a bunch of stylish guys here at Wildstorm Productions. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and say what comic you work on?
Tom Ratney, and I work on Stormwatch.
I'm Matt Broom, and I work on Wildcat.
I'm Jim Lee. I'm working on Wildcats X-Men.
I'm J. Scott Campbell. I'm the penciler on Gen 13.
I'm Richard Bennett, and I work on Brass.
My name is Javon Kirby. You can call me JJ, and I work on Backlash.
My name is Ryan Benjamin, and I work on Iron Man.
Okay, so first off, how important is costume design to a character?
When you do the character designs, you spend a lot of time developing the characters so that they can be animated. And nowadays, we think of them a lot in the context of multimedia.
Okay, well, where do you get your ideas for the costumes, or do you have some sort of fashion consultant?
We steal them from Jim's sketchbook.
A lot of it actually comes from fashion. I watch a lot of VH1 and MTV, the fashion hour.
Jim Lee rules the world with an iron fist.
A lot of designers and stuff, the kind of things they do, I think, are actually influenced by the things we do, and we're influenced by them because we tend to do very weird, kind of very slinky, tight, highly reflective costumes.
I pick up ideas from everywhere. It's like, if you got it, I'm taking and making it mine. It's just like I gave myself a seatbelt. I bought a, check it out. It's tight, you know what I'm saying? I got a seatbelt and it works, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
Well, what do you do to make the outfits original?
It's influenced by real life things. Like, when the Gulf War was happening, you saw images of soldiers and those big movement and superheroes that have belts with pouches and look like,
right.
Basically a pouch. And they never use them for anything, but they look kind of cool.
It's a fine line between making a costume look too complex versus the fact that you have to draw it over and over and over again.
The characters have to have their own personality, and it should come out in their costume. And if you got 50 guys standing around, you got to be able to figure out which guy's which. Even if it's a little tiny shot, you got to be able to know who's who.
A really coolly designed logo can really say a lot about a character.
Or just the fact that if you see a silhouette of Batman and just see the ears, it's recognizable as Batman. It doesn't get confused for anything else. And I think sometimes that kind of simplicity, at least an element of that, is a good thing to throw into a costume. Like, I think there's a character in Gen 13, Freefall, and her distinguishing point is that she's got pink in her hair. And I think hopefully you don't distinguish or confuse her for any other character in the comic book universe simply because nobody else has a little pink stripe in her hair.